Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is like my 6th or 7th time recording this video. I just hate how I sound sometimes. And I accidentally pressed the stop button on my last video, and I don't do cuts or anything like that. I am not an editor. But yeah, that's my introduction for this video. These are some of my personal favorite records. I have 4 of them. 2 are by the same artist. I don't have any new like pickups or anything. I did go to a like sort of variety store yesterday, um, and looked through some records, but they didn't really have anything that I was interested in. I do want to go to a place in North Providence, a record store that I haven't checked out yet. I'm just trying to hit like all the shops, all the record stores in this area, and find the one that I like the most, and that's probably going to be the one that I visit the most. Um, so yeah, I think we should talk about the first record. I have 1 metal record and 3 experimental ambient type albums. I don't know like what exactly to call to label those other albums. They're genres, but whatever. First album is Bell Witch Mirror Reaper. This is a titan of an album. One of the most challenging things I've ever heard. For an average listener, this will sound this is probably the most boring album of all time for an average listener, to be honest. Basically, it's an hour and a half, and essentially it's one song. Like on Spotify, it's listed as 1 track. This is extremely slow, funeral doom metal, and it takes a while to get into. Like I said, for the average listener, it's really hard to get into, but once you sort of like understand this shit just like a little bit, it is a fucking experience, man. Unfortunately, I missed these guys last month. They were playing in Cambridge. I did have tickets to go see them, but it is just like an hour and a half drive for me now, and I just wasn't in the mood that day to drive for an hour and a half and then an hour and a half back. And that's quite a trek to see, to go to a little venue in Cambridge. But yeah, I hope I eventually see these guys one day, when they come back around here. It's a 2-man band. One of the 3 members passed away. One of the original members, and I think this is almost like a tribute album to him. Adrian Guerra, I think his name was. Yeah. But yeah, incredible music, man. This is a one of a kind experience. And if you have an ounce of patience, well, you're probably going to need more than an ounce. You're going to need a lot of fucking patience to get through this thing, but it is rewarding, man. It is fucking rewarding. This album, one of my favorites, and I'm really not a huge doom metal guy, or funeral doom. I have been getting more into it recently. I like Mournful Congregation a lot, and this band called Drown. I've heard like Skepticism and Evoken. So I'm trying to get like more into the genre, but it's a very tough genre to get into. But like I said, very, very rewarding after a while. Next record, Godspeed. Godspeed You Black Emperor, with their album. You're probably not going to be able to see it because of the sun. There's a lot of glare. If I'm reading it like this, it says F hashtag A hashtag infinity symbol. There's a whole explanation like to what the album means or what the title means. In here it has this whole like funky little diagram and some interesting shit in here. I'll pull this out. Where is it? This little diagram. I'm not gonna pretend that I know what this means. Fear, regret, desire, hope. Figure 3A, faulty schematics of ruined machine. And it has this like odd poetry on the side. This is a very, very interesting album, to say the least, and a very, very interesting musical collective. These guys are from Canada. I'm a relatively new Godspeed fan, but this is... How do I describe this shit? If you know who Cormac McCarthy is, Cormac McCarthy is my favorite writer. He did die recently this year. Rest in peace. Post-apocalyptic, just haunting, but gorgeous, like, words from that guy. And this sounds like his words for some reason. I don't know why it like reminds me of Cormac McCarthy, but yeah, this is really quite the experience. I was listening to this one day just on a walk in a park, and I was just circling the park, and I had this on, and it's this puts you in another world, bro. It really is like listening to a movie soundtrack or something. But yeah, Godspeed. I believe this was released in like '97, I think. But this is a pretty fucking big band now. Yeah. That is Godspeed You Black Emperor. With, to me, their best album. They have a lot of good shit, but that album just stands out to me. And then the last two albums I have are by one of my favorite artists. Somebody that is just... Oh man, I fell in love with this woman's music a few years ago, and still... I'm just mesmerized by the sound that this woman has crafted. This is Grouper. This is AIA, Alien Observer. And this is AIA, Dream Loss. It's a sort of double album project thing. Standard black vinyl. They both come with this interesting little shit. She's also a visual artist, and she does a lot of interesting stuff. This is the most dreamiest music you'll ever hear, in my opinion. This album puts me in a completely different place. I can't tell you, well, these albums... I can't tell you how many times this one in particular, Alien Observer, has just damn near made me go numb. This music is just unbelievable to me. I don't really understand how a human being could craft a sound like this. I haven't heard any other music really like this. Grouper is an artist that has done a lot of different stuff. She's done like acoustic albums. She's done like experimental ambient stuff, which is this kind of is it. Her whole recording process is really interesting, and just the way she makes music. This is somebody who I have to see live one day. I have to before I die. But yeah, Alien Observer starts off with Moon is Sharp, which is just one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. And then it goes into the title track, Alien Observer, and then Vapor Trails, which, my God, bro. Some of the heaviest shit, some of the heaviest, most emotional stuff that I've ever heard to me. It just strikes something inside me. And then Come Softly, and I think Mary on the Wall, I think it's called, from this album. And then this one, Dream Loss, is my, I think it's not as good as Alien Observer, but still just really a just profound, dreamy sound. It is called Dream Loss. It starts off with Dragging the Streets, which is such a good opener, and then songs like Atone and No Other, and then the closer, titled A Lie, is just unbelievable, man. It's one of my favorite tracks I've ever heard. Yeah. Grouper. That's the back of that one. Very moon-like, you know? Very astronomical. But yeah, two of my favorite records by one of my favorite artists. And that is today's video. That is my 12 minutes of rambling.